Hi. So I'm Luca, and how do I say your name again?
Eddie.
Eddie, but the Chinese name that you wrote here?
Short tongue.
Short tongue.
Yeah.
Did I say that okay?
Yes.
Tell me how to say it better.
Short tongue.
Short tongue.
Yeah, that's good.
For an Australian, it's okay?
Yeah. That's good.
Okay. And now I'm teaching Eddie, or Short Tongue, today, and we have two other people who are just observing. So Matt, your name? Vicky. Well, my wife's name is Vicky. Nice to meet you. And Del.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Thank you both. Okay. So I've already gone through and advised you that we'd be doing this lesson earlier, and you've asked me if I can also show you some extra things for the thoracic spine, the middle of the back, at the end. So we'll do that off camera at the end. However, at the beginning, we're going to go through and spend the majority of the lesson today learning about temporal headaches, so headaches of this region here, and how it relates to the jaw, and a little bit of neck, and a little bit of throat. We're going to look at the way all that combines. You seem surprised. That's okay. That's okay. Now, as I said earlier, of course, Eddie, you know, if you need me to say something more slowly, that's fine. I'll repeat myself. And if there is something that you would like me to explain again, or for Eddie, you can translate for you. Okay. So that we'll be able to. I can even send you a video of the lesson that you can show to them after. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is go through the outline of the lesson and what we're going to include. Okay. And just to confirm that we're not interfering with any of your appointments today, that's all okay? Excellent. Okay, so we're going to go through each technique in the session, and we're going to start off with some anatomy and physiology and how the mechanics of the body work, okay, relating to this problem. Now, once we explain the anatomy and physiology, we will then wash our hands, and we'll do some technique, and we'll do also then some repetition of the technique. So I may work it on yourself or on myself, and then you will do it on me as well, because the ladies here don't have the issue that we need. I had a little bit of the problem with my jaw, and sometimes I get a little bit of a headache as well. Okay, so the resources we're going to be using are the treatment table towels. We'll be using the iPad. I also have some gloves for working inside the mouth. We'll be doing a bit of that today. And we'll also be working with regard to some other little props, okay? And I have swapped out a prop because I had a much better example that I thought of yesterday. So rather than using a model of a human spine, I'm going to use that pole and a weight to demonstrate something. Now, I'd like to just check, you're familiar with all the safety for the centre? You all know how the exits are and everything, yes?
Yes.
Excellent. And so I don't need to revise any of that with you, it's all good? Okay, I have to go through all these things, even if I've done it 100 times. Okay, and at the end I'll provide you with some information for your CPE diary that you can claim everything for points, okay? If you wish, in about a month to a month and a half, I can review some of this with you if you'd like me to remind you of anything, okay? Now, so let's have a little look here. We're going to go through the mechanics, and this will only be a couple of minutes. Actually shut down on me while I wasn't looking. So we'll let that start. Take this out of the way. There we go. It'll take 1 second to restart. I'm sorry that that switched off for me. Okay, so the very first thing that we're going to do is have a look at the movement and structure of the jaw. Now, we'll do a little exercise actually. I explain this to my patients. When they have a headache here, I say to them, please, put your fingers on your head here. Do the same. Now chew. You feel it move? You feel the muscles? So these muscles here connect all the way down into the jaw, and then there's a point where they overlap in the way they work to move the mouth up and down. Now, when your mouth comes down, some of the muscles to pull your jaw down are in your throat here. Okay? So these ones, you see that tighten to pull the jaw down? Okay? And they can also, if you keep your jaw closed and you pull your head down, right? these muscles are still working here. So at the same time, what you're seeing is by using these muscles and these muscles at different times, you can do different things with your head and neck movement. Okay. So the other thing that you do sometimes, which a lot of people don't realise, I'll show you this way, is they tilt their head up. Can you feel this tighten? Okay. Keep all that in mind when I show you this here. So we're going to turn sideways, actions, and then we're going to look at this one here. So this is the jaw movement. Right, now I'll make it a little smaller, bring that down. There's the jaw movement. Now watch this muscle here. This causes many headaches because the jaw can be in the wrong position because of tightness. It can move a little bit to the side, and it affects the way the jaw moves left and right. Okay, and then this muscle here, you see this one here? Watch. Can you see it inside here? See the blue part there on the inside moving? We'll see that? And there it is there, there's a better angle. We'll zoom in. So that blue muscle there, there it is there. So you can see there? So this is when this has a problem here on the mandible, on the jawbone, because of this muscle here, the masseter, the temporalis muscle has an issue. I'll just show that on the video here. Okay, I'll cut to it later. So while you explain, I'll do it over here for the camera. There we go. So here is the temporalis muscle, and you can see that muscle is illuminated, and you can see it popping out at the bottom of the blue one, the little blue piece down here. That's the other end of it attaching to the mandible or jawbone. This muscle here is the masseter. It helps move the jawbone, or mandible. Mandible is jawbone. If there is an issue there, then that will actually cause the mandible to move improperly and put stress through the temporalis muscle here, causing headaches. And you can see that little piece of it attaching to the jawbone as the jaw moves. Only muscles shown to influence jaw movement are in this particular animation. I think he's almost finished translating for us. Bit of a bonus. Okay. So, what we will then look at, there is also other muscles on the inside of the jaw. Okay, these are your medial pterygoids. Okay, can you see inside the mouth there? No. Inside. Okay, I'll just show this to the camera. This is inside the mouth. You can see inside the jaw, you can see the teeth there. I might cut to the video and make a better image of it later. You can see inside the mouth. Just here as the mouth opens. He's now translating again for us. There it is inside the mouth. So, when any of these muscles demonstrate an issue with tightness, if one side is tighter than the other, then you start to get force across the jaw. Okay? So for example, if I start to put force, it's okay, if I put force on one side here, you can see it's bending, right? This starts to put pressure through here. This would eventually break here. Well, it is like for this point here, okay, as the jaw gets pulled, the stress comes through here on the skull. And certain fibers can get more tension. Little lines of muscle, myofibrils, okay, and muscle fibers. Now, I'm just going to show you the next part. We're going to go to show more and extension. Now, when this animation opens, okay. So here is the neck moving backwards. Do you see? Watch the space here. See how that space gets bigger? That means these muscles are stretching. Okay? So I'll just show that one there. As these muscles at the back activate, the muscles that would normally be at the front are stretched, thus pulling down on the jaw because they go from the jaw to the collarbone. We'll show those in the next animation. And here's the last one. Okay, so that's head flexion. Sorry, I've gone to the wrong video. Wrong one. Show more. There it is. Mandible pressure. So these ones that are in moving the jaw down, see these ones here? When the head goes back, these ones pull and pull the jaw down. I'll make those blue so you can see them there. Okay, so you could imagine, now I'll show you what happens. If you explain. Thank you, Eddie. Okay, so as the head tilts backwards, these muscles here that normally pull the jaw down start to stretch and pull the jaw down, and you have to tighten these muscles in the jaw here to pull the jaw up to stop your mouth opening. I will explain that in one moment. Okay, so has anybody seen how people sit on a computer at a desk? Yes. Have you ever seen someone sitting like this on a computer?
Yeah.
Okay. Watch what happens. When you sit on a computer, when you're sitting up beautifully straight, you have a 5 kilo force at the base of your skull. Would you like to translate? That is a normal force. Okay? So, when you're sitting beautifully straight, your head sits forward a little bit on your skull. Just, you see here, my spine is here, but the head is a little bit forward. And it naturally wants to drop down. Right? You want to fall asleep. You see people on the bus, they fall asleep like this?
Yeah.
Therefore, to stop that happening, that is why we have that force holding your head up. Okay? Is that all okay? Everybody understand? Okay. Now, when somebody sits on a computer, they start to lean forward. And for every 2 centimeters, right, every 2 centimeters they move forward, the force gets stronger by 4.5 kilos. 2 centimeters slouch, 4.5 centimeter force. I wasn't anticipating the extra people observing, so I'm happy to do this, but it will take a little longer than planned for the lesson. You right? Now, when you lean, most people will slouch up to about 6 centimeters, like this. 18.5 kilos now. 5 plus 4.5 plus 4.5 plus 4.5, 18.5 kilos.
一般人就比较喜欢轻6点几，那就是18点几，就是36斤多嘛，相当于头上压了一大米。
This is 1.25 kilos. One and 1/4, yeah. Okay, imagine 10. Imagine 18. Okay, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Now,
It's a bag of rice for here.
yes, like a bag of rice in one little area. And that is a headache at the base of the skull here. And it is the muscles that come all the way down because they are pulling the head up. Now, here is the next one. As you lean forward, watch what happens. See the space?
Yeah.
And it tries to pull my mouth down. Who sits on their computer like this? Or do you close your mouth?
Maybe the first one.
You sit there with your mouth open? Or do you close it? What do you do on the computer? You see people in offices. Or second one. You know what I mean? You're laughing. You can imagine. Would you like a translation? Yeah, a bit of a smile. Okay. So, when you do this, because it pulls the jaw down, because those muscles are, remember the ones I showed you here?